DJI Simulator has come back in a huge way. It's available in-house on these two controllers here. We have the RC2 and the RC Pro 2. So both of them have DJI Simulator built into the software now, and I can't wait to show you this. So this is where you locate it over here. So this is on the RC2 here. This is the main interface that loads up through the DJI Fly app. You can see now if I tap on DJI Simulator, it launches a new application. So it looks like it's not actually built in DJI Fly, because if I go back, it then launches back into DJI Fly. So it looks like a standalone application, and this is what it looks like here in the background. So I'm going to be using it on the RC Pro 2 today, and so far what I've seen, I'm really impressed, and it looks like there's going to be a lot more coming out soon. So in the top right corner, we can prioritize image settings, so it's either image quality or performance here. We can turn on and off background music, which we're not going to for today's video. There's also downloadable scenes or downloaded scenes, as well as the option to then update through here. In this section here, we have the drone hanger. So you can see we've actually got the full model of the Mavic 4 Pro. Now, I'm sure they're going to add more as time goes on. We might see the Air 3S in here, the Mini 4 Pro in here, and a wide range of other drones, hopefully. Now, if I go back, I can then go into the basic course. And you can see I've got the beginner course here, but there's a few more that are locked and will be coming out very soon. So I cannot wait to see what that looks like. And then if I go into immersive flight, you can see the one option I have, which is the skate park. So if I press into Go Fly, you'll now see that it loads up an entire world for me. So in this section here, all I have to do is move around. You know, you use the left stick here to move this little robot around to choose where you want to take off from. Now you can just leave it where it was before. I can tap on the Mavic 4 Pro, and this is where I would be able to choose other drones. So obviously they're planning on adding more. And from what I've seen online, there are some other maps available for different regions. So I'm based in Australia. This is all I've got right now, which is the skate park. If I tap on the map, you can see there's a whole map interface here. There's little fast travel locations here. We can see what the map looks like, and straight when I press place aircraft, this is what you can expect. You can literally do the whole takeoff process here, or you can prime the motors by going like that, and then you can take off. You can see the downward sensors and all the side sensors started going just then, noticing that there was something in the environment. I have a fair bit of control here, so I can go into sports mode, I can use the normal mode, and I can go into cine mode. Now it feels literally like you're flying the Mavic 4 Pro. That's not an exaggeration. It feels hyper realistic. I really do love it. Let's see if we can track this. No, they haven't added tracking yet, but possibly in the future we might get some tracking. You can press and hold on the screen and angle down and up to move the camera. You can't do left and right, but you can also, do full rotation through the Mavic 4 Pro here. So you can customize a lot of the buttons. Waypoints will be coming soon, which is off to the left-hand side here. If I go up to the top here, I can see some information. I can't tap on it, so you can when you're actually flying the drone. These are all tappable icons, but I can't do that. I can go into photo and I can go into video. I can also play it back, so I can go in here and see what it's actually captured, which is pretty cool. So if I was to record, fly back like so, let's see. Well, that's a pretty cool revealing shot. Very nice. All right, so we're going to stop recording, press play. Now, has it taken us through? Okay, it didn't look like it recorded that experience. Oh, here we go, simulator. Oh, that's cool. There we go. So I've just captured that moment through the simulator. Very, very cool. If you are interested in any DJI drone, camera or accessory and you're based in Australia, make sure to check out the D1 store. I've helped Aussies save over 70 $70,000. That's right, $70,000 worth of savings for my audience. So just go over, reach out to sales@d1store.com.au, mention DansTube, and they'll be able to help you out with the best deal possible over there. You can also use the code DANSTube to save on select drones, cameras, and accessories through the D1 Store's website. I'll also have some links down below for my international viewers, so make sure to check all those out, and I appreciate all the support, everyone. And so if we go back now, I'll show you some of the other really cool stuff that's going on here, because it is quite an involved simulator. So I can tap on the three icons up here. I can also go, so if we go into photo, okay, so I have to switch it in to the normal mode if I want to adjust obstacle sensing, which is the same if I was to fly the drone anyway. So we're going to go into bypass. I'm just going to see here what happens. So if I start to fly towards this building here, what's going to happen? Is it going to stop? Is it going to try to bypass it? Okay, so it's bypassing it. It's actually increasing in altitude, which is what the drone would do anyway. It's now sensing everything around it. So as I turn, yeah, it's avoiding everything that I'm angling towards, which is exactly what the drone would do in the real world anyway. So that's really cool to see. You got some other settings through here as well. So return to home settings. You got some control settings, so you can adjust the control of the gimbal. So as you angle up and down, you can control that. You can control the zoom with the right dial. So I've got full control over zoom as well, which is really cool. So you know, you can fully adjust the tilt and then adjust the zoom like so. I can go between the different cameras. So I can go to the 2.5 times, the medium tele, and the telephoto system. Like I showed you before, I can also reset the gimbal, and I can also do the full rotation like you would be able to with the Mavic 4 Pro anyway. So you've got full control over that, which is really cool. It's going quite slow for some reason. Let me just go back to the normal one. There we go. So you can see I've got full gimbal rotation up to 400 degrees, which is the exact experience you would have if you were flying this drone. And it really does feel like you're flying it. There's even crash physics. So if I was to get close to a building, for example, and it has some crash physics, it's just tumbling to the ground, and then it will play it back for me. So I've got a full render of the drone. You can see that's the Mavic 4 Pro there. Really nice render of it. I can see the point at which I crashed, and it will show me if I zoom out the point of contact there. And then if I'm to, so you can see I can drag to rotate and pinch to zoom like I'm doing. Let's get a nice perspective here. So I can play it and see the full crash animation as it's happening. So that's pretty cool. Like the fact that you can roughly see what would happen, and it gives you a rough idea of where you tapped it, so you can get used to, you know, spatial awareness of where you are in relation to certain things. So that's the instant replay when you do crash, and then it brings you back to this menu here, or this flight menu here, this flight screen. You can go into the camera, you can add some grid lines. Transmission is coming soon apparently, so potentially some streaming options there. The about section, all of this is coming soon. I love the fact that you can adjust everything in here, so I can actually adjust gimbal settings. So for example, like the thing that's cool about this is you can adjust it for all the different modes, cine, normal, and sport mode. So if I was to go down to the gimbal controls, for example, like tilt smoothness, max roll speed, so this, if we adjust that right up, now what's going to happen is it's going to be really fast with the tilting. You can see how much faster that is. You know, you can do all of this through here, tilt smoothness, so this is going to smooth it out. Once I let go, there's a bit of a trail. So let me show you, I'll go down, let go, and you see there's a bit of a trail to that. So this feels very realistic to what you would be going through. There's an adaptive camera motion, fixed camera, there's all sorts of stuff in here that you can play around with. They're going to add more, which is really cool. But the core experience, like the fact that I can just prime the motors, take off, you know, and I can get used to the controls here of the drone. I can have the obstacle avoidance on, so I can get used to that. Very cool stuff. And you can see how much range of motion you have when you adjust that gimbal tilt. Like you can get a really smooth effect when you do that. And so yeah, this feels exactly like the experience. I don't know whether you can go into FPV mode. Let me just quickly go back, because the other cool thing is you can just reset the camera settings back, so you can play around with it and then reset it if you're not happy with it. What was I wanting to look for? There's nothing in camera. Yeah, I was hoping there was going to be like an FPV mode. You can play around with some of the button customization in here, so I've just got to move the record button. So you can see there's a few options in here. So you can play around with cruise control even, which is a very cool feature. Gimbal recenter and down. Right dial is zoom or gimbal roll. And then you can do C1 plus right dial for gimbal roll, C2 plus right dial for whatever you want. So what's cool here is I've now got cruise control set in, so I can go forward, press the C2 button, and then I can let go of the controller, and this is the full experience. Let's see what happens though. If it goes towards a building. Okay, it's trying to avoid it by the looks of it, because I've got that setting on. Oh wow, look at that, that's cool as. So straight, if I was to disable that setting, turn that off, right? Because cruise control is such a cool feature. You can literally put in multiple inputs. So I can fly, let's say, forward, down, and on an angle this way, right? Let's go this way. And so that's the locked point. It's moving on that angle, boom. And that's what you can expect. But yeah, cruise control feels great. It feels exactly like the experience you would have. Again, we can see the point at which I contacted. Boom! Oh, that was a huge flip. Carnage. I love how unrealistic it looks there. But yeah, that's cool that you've got that, so you can really play around with that. You can get used to the flight experience. I'd love to see the FPV mode come in here, which I'm sure it will. We've obviously got the waypoints coming soon. There's going to be different maps, different drone models. You know, if you can have full control as well over the camera parameters and settings, that would be phenomenal. So you could get used to lighting a scene, if you could add in the histogram, all that kind of stuff. That would make a huge difference, because the simulator is a great safety tool, gives you a lot of opportunities to really experiment with like how a drone is going to fly, how obstacle avoidance works, how to use cruise control, you know, how to navigate an environment. But then if it can go down into those little details of like how to light a scene, you know, how to adjust all the parameters, you could play around with aperture, all that kind of stuff on the main camera system, that would be so cool. Love that I literally have full control to go into, you know, that 2.5 times. I can still use the right dial, which I'm using on the back there just to zoom in a bit further. I can do full gimbal rotation, which for whatever reason is very slow in that 2.5 times, well 5.8 times now digital, but you can do it. I can recenter like so. Even when I'm in the zoomed mode like that, I can literally just fly forward and fly up, and you can see I can put it straight into cruise control. It's just going to continue on that path like so. I can press the button again, the C2 button, to cancel that. Obviously I can come back in, go into 6 times. So I don't know whether it's because I'm in Australia that I've got limited options, because I have seen some other options where you can see the distance is very blurry. But it's a contained map, obviously, like very small map, perfect for practicing though, especially some of this like this lower stuff down here as well. There's almost like an FPV racing course down here. But you know, you can get used to framing things, you can get used to having this different display here. So maybe I don't want everything here, so I could come in and just remove a few of those. So now I've just got that center crosshair. You know, if I could get to the point where I could drag on the screen and put it into tracking and then get used to tracking as well in the real world, there's just so many options here. And it's like the best way to practice is in a safe controlled environment, and you're using the exact controller you'd be using. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this feels remarkably close to the actual experience. It clearly is something that they've put a lot of love and effort into. Let's see if we can get through this little gap here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh no, it's so dark. Where are we? Let's see what happened there. Let's zoom out a little bit. Ooh, can't see anything really. There it is. Beautiful. So yeah, this is what you can expect from the simulator. It works flawlessly on both the RC2 and the RC Pro 2. Great way to get used to the true Mavic 4 Pro flight experience. And like I said, very impressed with how realistic it is to all the movements I'm putting in. It's hyper realistic to everything I'm putting in. It feels just like the experience Let's see how it goes going straight towards the car here, this van. Boom. Oh wow, it's an actual object that you can interact with. Look at that, even like the render of the turning. So realistic. Look how cool that looks. Here we go. Oh no. Pew! Oh, I nearly went down the drain. Fair enough. Yeah, so you can have a lot of fun with this. Can't wait to see what else they add very soon. Let me know your thoughts. This is definitely something that I have recommended to a lot of people through my drone course, is the DJI simulator. The support kind of died out a little bit through their website, but to see them integrate it into the controller experience as a standalone application is great. That makes so much sense. And it works on 2 flagship controllers that a lot of people are going to be using. There's a lot of compatibility with different drones here. And I think they've definitely, they've cracked onto something here. This is a great concept and something that a lot of people are going to appreciate. Boom! There we go, I'm obsessed with that. That's great. Let's just have one more look. Let's just bring it back here. It's so cool to see. They've obviously put a lot of work into this. Very cool to see. And just quickly, let's have a look in sports mode. I just want to see a little bit more of that movement, because I think they've done a great job. Not with that. Oh no. Oh, the controller in the background is starting to complain. There we go. We can take off. There's the little robot there. Boom. It's honestly great. It's so cool. Alright, let's have a little look now. So we're in sports mode, so let's like turn around. Let's see how we go. I'm doing all sorts of funny left and right movements. Boom. Alright, and then let's watch this back, and then I'd love to hear your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. But this is the render here of the drone turning. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks so realistic. Love that. That, not so much, but everything else, they've done a great job here. So there you go. That's what you can expect from the simulator, the DJI simulator, available on both the RC2 and the RC Pro 2. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate everyone, and I'll chat to you very soon. Peace.